Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for One Piece anime episode 821, and we were coming off a great episode last week, and I feel like they kept it rolling pretty well. I thought this was another really good episode. Not as good as the last episode, I guess. I mean, just for the nature of what's going on, but really good, and I'm excited for, again, the future parts of the storyline. So let's discuss this. Starting off, we have Count Niwatori and his men completely wrecked. We saw them get basically blown up by Pedro last week. Chopper saved him, though. He pulled him into the mirror. And that's, of course, when he heard Chopper and Carrot calling from the mirror, that's how he came up with the plan to just detonate the bombs. So, Chopper explains that they're planning to use the mirror world because they can use that since nobody can get in or out without Brûlé. They can use that to grab Sanji and then escape. Carrot finally reveals her shoujo character designs with her drawing of everybody, and that was a good comedy bit. And the mirrors recognize them from that and are able to tell them about Luffy and that Nami is with Jinbei. So Luffy, we cut to him still searching around, taking out a bunch of scrub characters. Then we're introduced to Cabaletta, Cadenza's brother, and I believe Cabaletta, Cadenza, Opera, and there's one other. I think the four of them are all from the same father, because I think all four of them have that big lumpy head and similar frame. So he fights Cabaletta, and Cabaletta was deceptively very fast. He says he's the 8th son of the Charlotte family, and when he was fighting Luffy, he was on par with a Gear 2nd Armamentaki Luffy, facing him equally. Of course, Luffy has the hunger affecting him, but still. Luffy then ends up beating him with a hawk rifle after a cool little fight, and I actually really like that. Both last week and this week, both of these small fights for Luffy felt really nice to get. Nice to see fleshed out and not just skimmed over. Because like I said last week, it feels like old One Piece. It feels like the way that old arcs were structured. So, I like everything going on right now, especially these two little fights that Luffy had. I like that. Another great bit is when, after the fight with Cabaletta's over, and Luffy looks over at the soldiers are like super scared, and then Luffy runs the other direction. They're like, phew, and they're like so relieved that they don't have to fight him, and then they remember, oh crap, we are supposed to catch him, so then they remember and run after him. I thought that was just a funny little exchange. The small things like that are great. So Sanji then ends up on the, we see him on the 3rd floor thinking, and I think that's actually the same floor that Luffy's on, and they ended up missing each other. But he's just sitting around thinking. Then we see Nami and Jinbei are on the 1st floor. Nami zaps their enemies and also ends up catching Chopper in the crossfire. So after that comedy bit, they all escape through the mirror. Reiju then grabs Luffy back on that floor, and he refuses food from her, but they both talk back and forth. She lets him know that Sanji already knows what's going on, and I really like where Luffy's like, okay then, I've done what I can do, I'm happy, so long as he knows that's good, and he leaves to go for the rendezvous point. So yeah, I really loved that. I loved everything about this episode. I thought it was really good again, and there's a lot going on. Every week it seems like we've been getting a lot of content, and I feel like that's not really gonna stop anytime soon. One Piece, the manga, has been taking a ton of breaks lately. I think it's something with Oda's health. Nothing super serious, but I think he has just been a little sick, and I think that might be why we're taking so many breaks lately. That could be worrisome because it may mean the anime needs to either slow down, introduce a filler arc, which actually I wouldn't mind. I would rather have a filler arc than to stretch out episodes longer than they need to be stretched out and have boring episodes. I'd rather have a filler arc and then have good episodes, you know? Have things be done right. So, yeah, either way, could something like that happen? Yeah, I think so. But I would hope they go for a filler arc, or hell, even take weeks off. I would prefer that to stretching things out and just not making good episodes. But yeah, either way, biggest thing for me that I liked was seeing just the small things handled really well, like fleshing out Luffy's fight there. And that's a good way that things could be drawn out more than the manga, while still while still being good. And I praised this a lot during Zoe, where we would have good in-canon filler, where they would take things that were just briefly gone over in the manga or that weren't really that big a deal, and they would flesh these things out and make them feel more important. And I actually think that's a good thing. I think making things more fleshed out and feel more important in the show is good anyway. So I'm all for in-canon filler. So yeah, I'd be completely happy with that. Like, I'm pretty sure you could consider the Cadenza and Cabaletta fights that, because I'm pretty sure those fights were mostly just skimmed over in the manga. So to have them fleshed out into not really full fights, but a good few minutes, and a few minutes that looked arguably good for One Piece standards, I think that that was all really good. So yeah, I think that might be a way to do things that would work out. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and give this a score and end this. I'd give it 8.5 shoujo drawings out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Hope you liked it too. Like if you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more One Piece, both anime and manga. And I'm going to read these off. Actually, I have them written down. Hang on a sec. I'm going to be reviewing 2 or 3 more anime weekly this season. It's about half the amount I did last season, really. But I'm going to be carrying on with this, obviously, and carrying on with Mahotsukai Niome every week for its second core, and then The Walking Dead will be back eventually. So I think I should maybe limit myself to 2 or 3 shows. And I've got 6 options I've narrowed it down to that I think I would be the most cool reviewing weekly. That's Violet Evergarden, Kokoku, Citrus, Sorayuri Matoi Basho, Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens, and Mitsuboshi Colors. So if you want to see me review any of those 6, tell me which ones you'd prefer, because I need to pick 2 or 3 out of those to decide on, and start getting to review them. So if you have any suggestions, just go ahead and let me know. But either way, that's it. Thank you once again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, I already said. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. And if you want a link to our Discord server, just ask and I'll give you one. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.